Franchising is the most misunderstood and most overlooked form of entrepreneurship. We're here to educate you and help you find the entrepreneur within. Franchising is not all about the French fries.
We find that individuals who are exploring business ownership tend to have a lot of misperceptions and misunderstandings about the franchise industry. So what we want to do is help prospective business owners make confident and educated decisions before moving forward or not moving forward with a business. Welcome to Unpredicted Entrepreneur.
Hi, welcome to episode 44 of Unpredicted Entrepreneur. I'm Roxanne Rapske, and this is my colleague, Sarah Waskow. We created this podcast to bring you information and education on business ownership and all things franchising. Today, our guest is a woman business owner, and she started her business quite a while ago, 2008. And she's going to share her experiences with us. So, Kalpana, thank you so much for joining us today. If you'll introduce yourself and tell us your business name and a little bit about what you do.
Yes, certainly. Thank you, Roxanne and Sarah and Jordan, for having me here this afternoon on this show. My name is Kalpana Murthy, and I am an entrepreneur. I own and operate a digital marketing agency in Plano. Name of my business is WSI Digital Marketing. We mainly service small and medium-sized businesses to help them with strategies and technology solutions to grow their business online with everything digital, search, social, mobile, anywhere that you have to do marketing and advertising to reach your target market. We are the company to do it. And I started this business in early 2009. And that's about 14 years ago, a little over 14 years ago. And we've been consistently growing and thriving. And we are here helping businesses every day. And one other thing I'm very passionate about is women empowerment. And I work with quite a few business owners. Probably more than half of our clients are women business owners.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
I actually got contacted today by somebody doing a news article that wants to interview me about so many more women going into business now. I started my business right around the time that you did, and I rarely met with any women. It was mostly men. So,
wow.
So what was happening in your life back in prior to 2009 that had you considering business ownership?
Right. I'm an immigrant from India. So I moved here a little over 30 years ago to go to college and got my graduate degree in computer science and engineering and moved to Texas looking for a job. And I've been here since. And I was in technology. I've been in technology all my life. So I was in telecom industry for about little over 15 years.
So which company did you work for, just out of curiosity?
Well, I started with the company name was iNet Technologies when I started. And then it was bought over by Tektronix. This is a company in Oregon, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then it was bought over by another umbrella company called Danaher. So when I left the company, I was with Danaher. Mm-hmm. And in 2008, it was the telecom bust, right? So, and at that time, it was already, getting a little old for me, staying with the same company for so long. I wanted to do something different. And also, my husband had a very demanding job, and my kids were young, and I needed more flexibility. Mm-hmm. So at that time, I think it was October of 2008 when our company management decided our entire group was going to be let go. And in a way, it was a blessing for me because it was hard for me to make that decision to get out and do something different, right? So. And fortunately, I also got a good severance package from the company, so I was not in a rush to go look for a job. They gave us, I think, 6 to 8 months insurance and money and everything. So I decided, I'm going to take the time and see what I want to do next, who I want to be.
Right? You grow up.
But I'll tell you, the next morning I woke up the day after they sent us home. It was heartbreaking for me.
Yes. I bet it was.
Yes, I woke up and I couldn't figure out, okay, who am I? What am I doing today? How is my day going to look like after kids go to school?
Yeah.
right? And
you've been working for how many years? 15 plus
15 years with
Yeah.
that company and 2 years before that.
Okay, so 17 years you've been getting up and going to work every
Right,
day unless
yes.
you're on vacation or holiday, right?
Oh, yeah,
and then all of a
certainly.
sudden that ends. Yeah.
Yes, that ends. And Tektronix, Danaher had already also had gotten us in touch with this company who would help us transitioning, how to prepare a resume, because we've been out of the market for so long. And I did go attend those sessions because still I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So they helped us with all that, updating my resume and how to do interviews and which companies to go look for and all of that. And I'm still thinking, do I want to go work for somebody else again? Or do I want to have that freedom and spend more time with my kids? And I started looking for opportunities to do in technology because I didn't want to move away from the field of technology because that's my passion. I wanted to stay in it. So, and something that I could start from home so that there's not a whole lot of overhead. I know I had some money that came with the package, so I was going to invest that money into the business. So then I came across several companies with technology like IT, like networking, cybersecurity, and also a company that did digital marketing. And there were two companies that I shortlisted. This company in Houston and WSI. And the other company in Houston, I interviewed them and got all the information I wanted, but I couldn't really find anyone who was already in that business in the area. So I didn't really get a good feel for how it would go once I get into it. As opposed to WSI, when I started talking to WSI franchise department, they were very helpful and they got me in touch with franchisees who are already in this area. Right, men, women. So I went and met with a couple of them, and to get an idea on, how it's working out for them.
Right.
A lot of people go into franchise business, but not everyone is successful.
Right.
And it seemed like they were very happy. They had made their connections and doing well. They were growing. So that's when my husband and I made the decision, okay, let's go ahead and do this, because this will keep me in the technology where I wanted to be, and also kind of move me to the business side of things where I can be a business owner, an entrepreneur. So we went ahead and signed the franchise contract. I think it was January 27th. I still remember the date when I sent the money over. Where's the money?
So was that 2009?
2009 of January, right, yeah. And so after that, things started rolling. We scheduled the training sessions in March because that 1 month I was kind of trying to get things together. And they also gave us a little head start with kind of starting these mock interviews with clients and see how it would go for me before even I went into training.
So like role playing,
and see if I knew someone who's in a business who I could go to and do this whole internet business analysis and see how I can introduce my services and things like that. Fortunately, I had a friend, a family friend who is a math tutor in Plano. My kids used to go to her. And that's the one she's a woman, woman business owner. I picked her as my role play.
Perfect.
So I went through the whole process, get out all the data, and to present at my training when I went to Canada. So the Canada, Toronto is where WSI is located. So when we went there, my husband and I, for the training, I had all the data to present to them, how this went and what I did and all of that. So it was a really good training. So this training was a lot about sales, which was exactly what I needed because sales was all new to me. The most I had been in front of clients when I was in technology is when my customer service department would come to me and ask them to troubleshoot some issues with them, right? So never in sales. So it was terrifying to learn that, okay, I'm going to be selling stuff now, right? And also, if you remember, 2009, we were still in deep recession.
Yes, we were.
Right? So we spent about, I think, a week to 10 days in Canada going through the training, met a lot other franchisees who came from all over the world. We met people from Europe, South America, Asia, so all of these places. It was really nice to kind of learn how the business world is there. So we made a lot of connections there to kind of stay in touch and learn from each other and all of that, because we were all getting into that new business. So we come back and I, start the business, really, going at it. And so in the beginning, one good thing that we did was we signed up with this company that WSI introduced us to get appointments with clients, because it's new. So how do you go find new clients, right? So this company would make cold call on my behalf and set up appointments for me. And
so this was a partner company to WSI.
So they would call them suppliers in the network, right? Okay. So they're one of the service.
So they were setting appointments for you. And
yes,
that's, something that we do talk about sometimes with some of the franchisors. Is their proactive marketing efforts, maybe call centers or partnerships, suppliers, what have you, because a lot of people like you are feeling some anxiety about selling because that's something new.
Right. Yeah, it's new. And so that was a good thing that we did that. And believe me, I've gone into these meetings where it's very cold. You're going into this cold room, right? People are, okay, why are we here?
Mm-hmm. So they weren't necessarily sure why you were there sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, they would take the appointment, then they were not really interested a lot of times, right? So it was all
So you had to learn to take rejection.
And discouragement and wake up, every morning, day after day, learning, okay, today's going to be a better day.
One of the first things I learned in sales is they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting whatever product or service it might be. I remember that at AT&T because that was hard for me when I first started in sales.
And I learned at that time, again, it was a recession time. I treated that probably about 6 to 7 months of that first part of that business as my learning period, because I learned how to go into meetings, prepare for meetings, how to really handle these people who are had their guard up, right? So really how to get through to them and everything. So 8 months later, I get like 3 clients in 3 weeks.
So you've been working for 8 months, and then all of a sudden they just hit.
Right. And 2 of them were women business owners. One was an artist, and the other one is this woman in Addison. These are still my clients. I still have those clients that are acquired in like the first year of my business. They still work with me.
That's amazing.
So let's back up a second, because I want to make sure I don't know if you're doing all this just with that company that's making calls for you, or had you started some networking also at this point?
So yes, so that's a good question. So these clients that I got in the beginning, these are all through telemarketing appointments.
Okay,
right?
They were.
Yeah, they were. And this is a very good point. So I joined the first network organization I joined in 2009 was Plano Chamber of Commerce. I think in May of 2009.
So was that a little bit scary for you,
believe me,
walking into the chamber meeting and not knowing anyone as a new member?
Terrifying, because I remember standing up on it. The meeting is at 7:30 a.m. on Friday mornings, right? I would stand up. I have all this 30-second commercial prepared, and I would stand up and I forget what I'm saying and I choke.
We've all been there.
Right. And, I really appreciate all these business professionals who are in the room. They would just, really very encouraging. After the meeting, they would come up to me and say, hey, this has happened to all of us, right? Yep. Don't give up on it, right? So it will get better. It will get better. So I met all these, business owners who were there for me. So I leaned in and really embraced their kindness and help, and really became friends with them. And it started getting easier. easier to kind of stand up and speak and really meet eye to eye with people, right, when I'm speaking. So I know I cannot believe where I am today with that, but I'd never forget how uncomfortable it was to go into the room. And even when you go into these evening networking meetings, you'd see this group of people standing in a circle. Now, how do I go break in and say hello and get into that circle?
But that's you guys met in networking.
That's how we met.
Right?
Right.
So you've both seen the value of that, and clearly you've gained new skills that you probably wouldn't have been doing if you were still in your former employment.
Oh, yeah, exactly. This business not only has given me flexibility with my time, but it has really given me opportunities to grow both personally and professionally. I volunteer a lot in the community, and I network a lot, and I on the board of directors at the Plano Chamber of Commerce, and I've been volunteering with the chamber from 2009. So I started with the Ambassador Club. I have moved from different volunteer positions until today. So again, it's not just about selling. It's about really, building those relationships and having that community feeling is what has really brought me business, right? As I said, I still don't call myself a salesperson. I am always about helping and educating people, especially women business owners. A lot of times come with this intimidation about technology, and kind of easing them into, hey, it's not rocket science. You can learn this. Just kind of easing them into it and helping them. So it's been a learning experience for me, and at the same time, it has helped me grow my business.
Well, and you make a really good point about networking, because I think people initially see networking as just going out and selling themselves. But it's really, you're right, it's about building those relationships. I haven't said this in a while, but Sarah's like, can you not say that? But people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust, right? Yeah. So as they get to know you and trust you, and then open up to you about some struggles they might be having with their marketing or whatever, because at first you're a friend first. And then the business comes, I believe.
Right. Yes. And then also, going into these meetings, having domain knowledge in technology, it has come in handy for me. So that's an advantage that I have seen a lot of people don't come with when they go into sales, not believing in what they do. They, just selling does not sell the product or service for you. Just really believing in it and making the people who you're speaking to really confident about, okay, this person can help me. She can.
But it takes time to build that confidence.
Yeah, it does.
And I'm sure in the beginning you felt less confident as you were trying to get started. And then once you got those clients, that's a huge confidence builder.
Right.
And then you've seen the success that you've been able to contribute to for those clients. If they didn't believe or trust in you, they wouldn't have stuck around for 15 years, 14 years now.
That really says a lot
for
what you're doing for those businesses, that they're still with you after all these years.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. A lot of times it's I feel a burden on myself, because there's so much trust they put in me that I have to deliver, right? So I make sure that I keep them in the loop. We have a very transparent process of what we do for these businesses, where their money is going, and really, if they're getting the results or not, how can we fine-tune them to make it better for them. So just constantly working. And I'm also into continuing education. So I'm always learning. And one good thing about in a franchise network like WSI is you have access to a lot of knowledge and resources. They are, giving us, all the materials, all the learning resources that I go through and bring to my clients, so that they have a competitive edge against their, in their market. So that's how we set ourselves apart. And if I were to do this as myself, just as a business, then I would probably still do it, but I'll be spending a lot of money and finding all these resources that come to me through WSI. So, yeah.
You bring up a good point, because we get this question a lot. well, why would I need a franchise to do that? So you had all the technology background, you understand the digital side of it, you had that knowledge. So why not just go off and do that on your own? Expand on that a little bit.
Right. Yeah. There is digital, especially digital and technology. It's growing in lightning speed, right? So it's very, very hard to keep up. Even for me even though I do it for a living, right? It's a lot. So without these resources, I would be constantly looking for help. Where do I go to get all this information? How do I stay on top of everything that's going on with Google, Facebook, and AI and Chat GPT and all of this, right? So as a technology person, I know how to go get it, but I wanted to be on the business side also more, right? I didn't want to spend so much time just to kind of digging into these things. I want to go meet new people, meet new business owners, learn about new businesses, new industries. That's a whole new thing, right? Whole different thing than just keeping up with technology. So now what I do is, I do keep up with technology and everything, but for a day-to-day implementation and project deployment, I have my whole team, my technical team that does all of that for me. So I am a client-facing
so you're working
right?
on your business,
not
in
it.
your business, which is important to point out.
It is,
Yeah.
because to your point, you could be in your office doing research all day long every day, and I don't
With no
want to say
human
impossible,
contact.
Yep.
but it's very difficult to grow a business if you're having to study all day long and not get out and create awareness. I mean, you have a home office, right? So
I have a home office. I rent an office as well. So I work in my office most of the days because it's quiet and that's where I meet my clients.
But it's not a storefront. It's not something somebody's going to drive by and go, oh, I'm going to stop there and talk to them about my digital marketing needs. So without that real estate and the big sign, you're not that type of business that would bring in that kind of client. You have to create awareness for your business in other ways, and you learned how to do that through your networking and public involvement, community involvement.
Yeah, it was not easy for me to get out of that comfort zone, right? I would rather sit in my office and work on my computer. That's where I come from. But now, I really enjoy meeting new people and really talking to them, learning about their business, their challenges, and how we can work together, right? Bringing that awareness, as you said, that knowledge, sharing my knowledge with people. And this networking, again, as I mentioned earlier, it's a really good growth opportunity for anyone to grow yourself personally and professionally. You learn about people's experiences, their challenges, and I'm also learning from other businesses, right? So, I mentioned to you earlier, when I started the business, maybe 2 years into it, I even worked with business coaches because it was really important for me to get the business organized and see where I'm going. What does my business plan look like, right? So where do I want to be, 5 years from now? What do I want my revenue to look like? And how do I get there? Right, setting that goals and coming up with strategies and plan to get there. So these are all investments into my business so that I can reap the benefits of the business, few years from now, right?
Well, and that's a good segue, because in wrapping all of your learnings up, what would you, if I came to you today and said, I'm starting a new business, what would be your top 2 or 3 things that you would recommend to me so that I could have an easier liftoff?
Right. So, when you start as a solopreneur, you are wearing multiple hats. You're doing all of these things, right? Figure out what your strength is and where your time is more valuable. Right? Would you rather be going and helping other businesses and help them grow their business versus working on your QuickBooks or your email marketing or doing things that are just eating up your time but not really making you money or getting you out there, right? So, and the other thing is really put a plan together, work with someone who can structure your business in a way that, okay, so this is how, I'm going to run my business, and these are all some of the tools that I'm going to need, whether it's technology related, work with definitely with the IT person who can set you up with all the tools for project management and your day-to-day operation stuff to automate it so that you're not always working on spreadsheets and trying to kind of clean that up all the time. And so try to automate your business in this, digital world. There are a lot of tools available at a very affordable prices. So get yourself organized. Definitely work with a business coach or a mentor that can help you structure a business and show you a path on where you can be. And definitely join networking groups. I'm saying this. I'm in the digital world. I still network because I know that personal connection goes a long way for a business owner. So these would be some of my top things that I would say. And I don't want to forget this self-care. I'm big on that. I'm big on work-life balance. So I started the business because I wanted more flexibility. I wanted to spend more time with my family. At the same time, I wanted to continue doing what I wanted to. Right. Mm-hmm. So definitely focus on that. Take the time for yourself. Take the one day of the week. I usually take on Mondays. It's my planning day. I don't take any meetings on that day. I just work on my business and anything else I have to do to get myself organized. So those things set you up for stress-free week, rest of the week. So
those are great.
Great tips. Excellent advice. Thank you so much, Kalpana, for joining us today. If any of our listeners or viewers would like to visit with you and get help with their digital marketing, how would they reach you?
Yes, they can look me up on LinkedIn. I'm active on LinkedIn. Look up for my name or go to our website at Kriti, Kriti, onlinemarketing.com.
Very good. Thank you so much. We really appreciate all your insight and background on how you got into business and how things are going for you today. Thank you to our listeners for joining us today. Kalpana mentioned she's active on LinkedIn, and so are we. Again, my name is Sarah Waskow. That's Waskow. My colleague Roxanne Rapske, Rapske. Please look us up and follow us on LinkedIn. We would love to connect. You can also find us on our YouTube channel, which is FranNet of Dallas, Fort Worth, and Oklahoma. And you can download this episode and other episodes wherever you get your podcast, whatever platform you use. Please look for us there as well. Unpredicted Entrepreneur. Thanks again for joining us, and we hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.